speak terribly clearly tonight. This is not unrelated to the fact that yet again my mouth is a seething mass of mouth ulcers, and before you speak, even in a very short period of time, they tend to stick to whatever's next to them, and so when you start speaking again, they all have to pry themselves loose, and it's jolly painful. I thought I'd pass this medical information on to you, so you feel desperately sorry for me. We've got a Fuzzbox, and we're going to use it, and they've actually sent me the words to this, written on a piece of paper, for me to keep as a souvenir of this evening's fun and games. Jackie. We've got a Fuzzbox and we're going to use it, and that's Jackie. And I was in Jackie once, actually, many, many years ago, when they did the Mark Bolan story. Elsewhere, actually. I should have been dug in by then. This is She.
And then I've made mistakes. I didn't leave in the bar, so I started again. Oh, you are dimwit. Gone.
I don't think these young people take our sessions seriously, you know. We've got a Fuzzbox and we're going to use it, and that was she, and other things besides. And here's a letter from Norway. Big international night for me tonight. And quite an interesting, well, actually rather a horrible stamp. Some bloke with a machine gun pointing it at someone in rather a menacing fashion. It does make a change from endless pictures of the Duke and Duchess of York, I suppose. And it starts, "Hello, John. Hello, mate. I'm a Norwegian female DJ." I don't know. This is Super Cat.
Don't show your face, Mr. Cat, because them can't stop you, Celestia, you know. Yeah! Lord of mercy. Come into special dedication to all farmer, whether you live a sentence or in a Nova. Cause this is Mr. Cat, the beer back rider. The style when me a go get them, I go run Jamaica. And in a London, I say in America. And in a Canada, I say in a China. It name the Vineyard style, is wicked and wild. The Vineyard style, is wicked and wild. The one purpose and with animal party. And the one purpose with the human party. And the one called Chaplin with ocean party. Mr. Here come Mr. Cat with Vineyard party. Them keeping a dance in a stamping yard. The sound we did a play was pro type power. Selector for the sound, the one cool cucumber. I know what they see in a ripe sweet guava. Promoter for the dance, the one sweet potato. The bartender was Irish potato. Mr. Oh, I hold the gate, no scotch bonnet pepper. With the matic fan him up and bag over him shoulder. Mr. Oh, them invite no sweet cassava. But him never left me friend with him dry ginger. Yellow yam and sweet yam and them a dance together. Them jack up now they dance in a one corner. Look how bread a key and tall and maga. And a fling sweet wine and a ripe banana. The Vineyard style, it's wicked and wild. The Vineyard style, it's wicked and wild. Me side Tony and a wine pan tomato. And side so a wine and a okra. Me say apple get jealous and start steal the show. And fling sweet wine and a Mr. Mango. Peanut and cashew, me say them start get low. And start to the style when him go on your toe. When focus start dance, the whole of them get overthrow. A dance pan him and him a dance pan him too. The style where him a do and them a call it limbo. The Vineyard style, it's wicked and wild. The Vineyard style, it's wicked and wild. Me Scott coat plum and wine and a cherry. Me spot coat plum and wine and a cherry. And side pumpkin and wine and a jelly. See her run up her mouth and say the dance ready. Cause you can't hear the style if you rock her body. It name, oh what a walk go to pumpkin belly. Bow! Oh what a walk go to pumpkin belly. Bim! Oh after that I know the one is berry. Me looking at one corner and me spot tambourine. Me side tambourine and the easy skanking. I dance with the 160 degree from foreign. And the tune with him a dance are the same thing rhythm. Him lay down on the rhythm like a tire on a rim. Him take up on the rhythm like a crown punking. Come take it from the cat, him a the day shaking. Me spot red peas, a wine and a gongo. And cabbage back, $2 and ring class crow. And get the gate man and say, guy let me throw. I'm flinging sweet wine and a miss color low. Come take it from the cat for them your style brand new. Me side chop fruit a wine and a breadfruit. And side neighbor fruit a wine pan grapefruit. And carrot a talk about beetroot a coat. Bow! Aki come in a 9 Chris Clark boat. And jump and dance off him 3-piece road. It sound kinda cute as I know it are the truth. Me side green lemon in my wine and a lime. Side green lemon in my wine and a lime. None can wine like the one Mr. Pine. When Pine a wine in my wine pan time. Orange a top bout a wonders and sign. Skelly and a wine and a the one slim time. Happy and you love it, just say one more time. Tell you Miss Ease.
That's Super Cat and Vineyard Party, and I was listening to Andy Kershaw's programme last Thursday, and a rather good one it was as well, actually, if you missed it. And he played a Super Cat track from the LP that's available in this country, and mentioned that I'd got the import one, rather sulkily, I thought, and that comes from it. I played you that, must have been a year ago, I suppose, perhaps longer than that when it first came out on 45, but now it's on the LP Boops. My copy of the record is such a rare and exciting one that it's got a label on one side, but not on the other. Ha! A real collector's item. Anyway, Vineyard Party from Super Cat. And a letter from Delith, I think it must be, writing to me from Llangefni, which I used to know very well, actually, in a good Indian restaurant in Llangefni, in case you ever go, though. There used to be a few years ago, saying how excellent the Anne Hrevin session was that we broadcast last Monday, and saying thanks to Rhys of the band, who's campaigned, as a whole band have, I think, campaigned on behalf of Welsh language music for quite some time now, and also pointing out there are at least a dozen other Welsh bands we will be featuring on the radio. Well, we're, working our way slowly through these things. We'll check them all out as we go along, no doubt. One thing which is encouraged by this sort of weather is, of course, weeds. Our garden's full of them, and now a couple of records by people called the Weeds, one lot from New Zealand, and the other lot from, I think, Manchester. Anyway, this is the New Zealand lot, Wheat Fields. Weeds, Weeds and More Weeds, the latter on In-Tape Records, a new single, China Doll. Before that, from New Zealand on Flying Nun, almost inevitably, another lot of weeds and wheat fields. Front 242 starts quietly but gets a lot louder.
We who are oppressed love those who fight against oppression and the oppressors. Brothers and sisters, it is with great honor and privilege that I present to you the leader of the Al-Fatah Revolution from Libya, our brother Muammar al-Gaddafi. Al-Gaddafi.
Gaddafi.
The most impressive number, I think. That's from Belgium, from Front 242. Let me remind you again that in tomorrow night's programme, despite the fact that we had a letter of complaint, of course that'll rankle for weeks now, Super Summer Sound Spectacular brings you magazine from 1978 and the specials from 1979. Tree-Bound Story.
Well, I remember I was waiting, and then I saw you go by. Well, I remember I saw you with your head held high, and the wind playing with your hair. You looked my way and saw my stare. I never thought it could be a lover life within me. I never thought it could be a lover life within me. Yeah. My hopes are breaking, my fists are shaking. I'm paranoid, telling me to tell lies. My words are stumble, she'll make me crumble. I know there's gonna be clouds in my eyes, but I can't help but build it up to a great size. She won't be fooled, oh no, by my calm disguise. I never thought it could be a lover's life within me. I never thought it could be a lover's life within me. Well, I remember I was waiting, and then I saw you go by. Well, I remember I saw you with your head held high, and the wind playing with your hair. You looked my way and saw my stare. I never thought it could be a lover's life within me. I never thought it could be a lover's life within me. I never thought it could be a lover's life within me. I never thought it could be a lover's life within me.
Tree-Bound Story, of course, from their 12-inch EP, and that's called I Remember. And now a track from an LP with actually one of it's compiled with that strange French DJ. What's his name now? Hold on. Ding Dong. He may not be French, actually, but judging from the sleeve notes, an obsessive man. And the LP is called The Pumpin' Piano Cat, therefore featuring Jerry Lee Lewis and his pumping piano. When I was at school, pumping used to mean something completely different, of a rather biological nature. I won't go into it here, but it used to make me laugh a lot because I was that kind of a child. Jerry Lee Lewis, and this is Crazy Arms.
Now I believe in the word far away that I feel that old storm brewing in this heart of mine. Someday crazy arms hold some all that love I thought was mine. Someday your crazy arm will hold somebody new, but now I'm so lonely all the time. Crazy arms that reach to hold somebody new, while my yearning heart keeps saying, you're not mine, not mine, not mine, not mine. My troubled mind goes blue, you and another you'll be wed. But now I'm so lonely all the time.
Jerry Lee Lewis and his pumping piano, Chortle, and that's Crazy Arms. That's a new compilation on, well, from Charlie, is it? That's on Sun Records, anyway, whoever does Sun Records. Charlie Records it is. And that was by way of softening you up for the last one. We've got a Fuzzbox and we're going to use it. And this, believe it or not, is their version of Bohemian Rhapsody.
And now for the delight and entertainment of ye.
Chandu, the magician. Frank Chandler, known in the Far East as Chandu the Magician, is playing a dangerous game. He has deceived the malignant Roxor into thinking him an Egyptian sorcerer, and Roxor has engaged him to perform 2 feats of black magic. Chandu, the Magician.
Ein belegtes Brot mit Schinken. Ein belegtes Brot mit Ei. Das sind 2 belegte Brote. Eins mit Schinken und eins mit Ei. Und dazu Eisgekühlter Bommerlunder. Lunder eisgekühlt. Eisgekühlter Bommerlunder. Bommerlunder eisgekühlt. Und dazu ein belegtes Brot mit Schinken. Ein belegtes Brot mit Ei. Das sind 2 belegte Brote. Eins mit Schinken und eins mit Ei. Und dazu eisgekühlter Bommerlunder. Bommerlunder eisgekühlt. Eisgekühlter Bommerlunder. Bommerlunder eisgekühlt. Und dazu ein belegtes Brot mit Schinken. Ein belegtes Brot mit Ei. Ei. Das sind 2 belegte Brote. Eins mit Schinken. Eins mit Ei. Und dazu eisgekühlter Bommerlunder.
Always a joy to hear that, of course. Totenhausen from Dusseldorf and their tribute to Bommerlunder, a substance that played a substantial part in my fun yesterday evening, but less about that later on. We have a session from We've Got a Fuzzbox and we're going to use it, and there's a considerable letter that goes with it, and when I tell you that it starts, Dear Jonathan Apoozy-woo, you'll know what kind of thing to expect. More about this letter and more about the ensemble as the programme unfurls before you. Also, we've got a session 2 from Front 242 from Belgium, but now it's Fuzzbox, and You Got Me. We've got a Fuzzbox and we're going to use it, the first from them, that's called You Got Me. I've just come across another part of the letter written by another member of the ensemble, which starts, To John Z. Kinsey Plops. Oh boy, it's going to be a long night. Coast to bounce back. That's Word of Mouth with DJ Cheese and Coast to Coast. And I've been looking forward to playing you tracks from this next LP for quite some time now. It's the new LP by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. You heard the single, of course. The LP is called Kicking Against the Pricks, and it's by and large cover versions. On a couple of occasions, cover versions of songs which I don't remember in the first place, but it has a wonderful version of All Tomorrow's Parties, which I'll try to remember to play you in tomorrow night's programme. Also, Something's Gotten Hold of My Heart, which is very good as well. The Carnival is Over. Jesus Met the Woman at the Well. And then that's on side B. Then on the A side, Muddy Water, I'm Going to Kill That Woman, Sleeping Annaleah, Long Black Veil, Hey Joe, and The Singer, which of course was the single. But the one that I've been really looking forward to playing you ever since I first heard it on a cassette a month or so ago is Nick Cave's version of By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising. And she'll find that note that I left hanging on the door. And she'll laugh when she reads the part that says I'm leaving. 'Cause I've left that girl so many times before. And by the time I get to Albuquerque, she'll be working. And she'll take up time just to give me a call. And she'll hear that phone keep right on ringing and ringing on the wall. Yeah, oh, that's all. And by the time I make Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly in her sleep and call my name out low. Oh, then she'll cry just to think that I'd really leave her. I left her, but time after time after time I tried to tell her so, but she just didn't know that I would really go, that I would really go.
Got a very good sleeve as well, the LP. That's Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds from the LP Kicking Against the Pricks, and By the Time I Get to Phoenix. And from Finland, there's a Finzine. They have a sense of humour. The Three Mustafas 3. Some tender moments from the LP From the Balkans to Your Heart, the Three Mustafas 3 on Exil Records, an import from Germany, not available otherwise in this country. Taksim Cello and no, whatever it is. Anyway, you know the track from one of our sessions originally. Now, which record is it that has on its sleeve the warning, this record contains extreme sonic frequencies not to be played in the presence of pre-teens? Why? It's this one. We've got a Fuzzbox and a tune of their own devising. That's called Preconceptions. And judging from the letter, they have one or two about me as well. But we'll let that pass, shall we? This is Gary and One Dance Story. And I suppose everybody that today is, or everybody this morning anyway, had some kind of thunderstorm stories. And they were fairly severe out in East Anglia, as they were in lots of parts of the country. So much so that it's one of those things you think, this one's going to take the roof off the house. Of course, they never do. Well, they do sometimes. They didn't ours, not last night anyway. But some of the children, William and Alexandra 8 and Thomas 6, were sleeping in a tent in the garden. Oh, got a garden now and a tent, eh? Well, and William had the good sense to come in earlier, making some pathetic excuse because he didn't want to stay out there. But about 4 o'clock in the morning, the pig and myself were woken up by the thunderstorm and thought if Thomas and Alexandra were woken up by this as well, they'd be scared out of their wits. So in our pyjamas or even less. We had to dash out in the pouring rain and rescue them from the tent, and wondering what would happen if we got struck by lightning. Nothing very good, I suspect, but an interesting thing to have to do at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's the reason I'm a pretty fatigued old fella now. These are Happy Mondays, and this is Freaky Dancing. Music from Chicago, and yet another vocabulary for us to pretend that comes naturally to us. That's Farley Jackmaster Funk and Jesse Saunders. Love Can't Turn Around, the title of it. And this magazine, which, as I say, is called The Big Sieve and comes from Wolverhampton, 30 pences or more, it says rather effectively on the piece of paper on the front. And so that means presumably if you send a stamped addressed envelope and 30p or about 50p, that'll cover it. And the address is Des and Jason, 34 Bright Street. Something that looks like Whitmore Reams, and I suppose that must be what it is. It's what's written down here. Wolverhampton WV1 4AT. Des and Jason, 34 Bright Street, which is pretty straightforward. Then Whitmore Reams, which is WHITMORE, second word REANS. Wolverhampton WV1 4AT. And as I say, it looks like quite an amusing magazine. And mine comes with a cheeky letter as well, but yours probably won't. In tomorrow night's programme, it's part of our Super Summer Sound Spectacular, don't forget, and tomorrow night's sessions from Magazine from 1978 and the specials from 1979. And while we're with the specials,
This storm is coming like a ghost town.
All the clubs are being closed down.
This place is coming like a ghost town.
Bands won't play no more.
Too much fighting on the dance floor.
Ghost Town from the Specials and one of their archive sessions from 1979 and tomorrow night's programme, along with Magazine from 1978. That's Ghost Town, of course. And a letter from Al writing to me from Mara Zion saying that she's going to go and see Peter Powell, who's there with the Roadshow next Monday, and try to persuade him to play in Bogshed's Morning, Sir. I don't fancy her chances, I must say, but good luck anyway. I like these guerrilla tactics. Should be more of it. From 242, no shuffle.
There's no shadow far away.